Heritage Day is observed so South Africans can celebrate their diverse cultural heritage, but is it nothing more than a Braai Day and just another public holiday for people to enjoy? When September the 24th was proposed as a public holiday, it was meant to help bring South Africans together, but some people believe it hasn't really done that. To discuss Heritage Day and our colonial past, we're joined by sociology professor at the University of Pretoria, Catherine Burns. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
How should we be celebrating Heritage Day?
Thoughtfully. Heritage Day is something that we have to make something of. The government, people that are in positions of state power are not the people that can make us reflect critically on our own past and celebrate what there is that's joyful and that brings us together. We have to do that ourselves, and we have to do that thoughtfully and respectfully.
All right, so what do we have to work with in that regard? How do we come up with a happy, clear picture, and how important is the past to where we are today?
Well, we don't necessarily have to come up with a happy picture. We have to come up with a mixed picture. Like all societies in the world, we've got a really complicated and imbricated past, and actually a fantastic roadmap for how we could speak to each other respectfully and celebrate what we enjoy about each other, and also reflect with great humility and with great care upon our past, was actually given to us by our late President Mandela. In the 1990s, he traveled to the United Kingdom as state president, and he spoke to the world and to our own people as he addressed the British Parliament about our place in the Commonwealth, our place in global history, our imbricated and entangled past. He talked about the way that people in Southern Africa had actually helped to create and forge institutions in places like the United Kingdom. For example, the legal order, the order around issues such as health and medicine, the development of nursing, the development of scientific enterprise, the development of agriculture, the development of deep-level mining, many aspects of South African life which have been built by the sweat and labour of women and men from all different classes and backgrounds, has shaped not only our own region but also the globe, has shaped the power of the United States, has shaped the power of Europe, has shaped the power of countries in the subcontinent like India. And Mandela addressed this with great eloquence and dignity, and it's a speech that I'm sad South Africans don't know more and that they don't draw on more, because it was actually a piece of historical reflection about what our common heritage is. And it wasn't spoken in a glossed over way or in a cosmetic way. It came from a place of deep thought, and it spoke to our tricontinental frontier, the bringing together of the different layers that made up modern South Africa and its place in the globe. That's what we should be thinking about on Heritage Day. It's not merely a case of braaiing and celebration. It's about reflection and mutual respect, especially at this time in our country's history when we've come off of several weeks of extreme violence towards each other and towards people from neighbouring countries.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, it seems that we, instead of celebrating this diversity which makes any country so exciting, we shun it and hate it and push it away. And I'm just wondering what it says about our own insecurities.
Well, I think actually the reason why we are in the state that we're in is because we know so little about our own history. If I can be completely honest, as a person who's been teaching history at the high school and then university level for over 30-some years, I frequently meet people from other countries who are university educated, who know much more about our own history than we do. We don't read enough about our history. We don't reflect enough about our past. We don't ask our family members, our grandparents and other people enough about where we've come from. We don't, in fact, have a sense really of the complexity of our past. We think about the last 30 or 40 years. We have a very cliched vision often of the history of struggle against apartheid, but the long and complex roots that led to this baobab tree-like formation that is modern South Africa is something that we actually know very little about. And so actually where it begins is talking to your own grandmothers, speaking about what memories they have of their grandmothers, and that can take us back 120, 150 years in history, reading the amazing array, the great archive, the library of published books about our past in all languages, not only in English. This is actually what we need to take on as South Africans. No government can make us do that, no school system alone. And I would also suggest that instead of only thinking about great leaders or the constructors of both the pain and the joy of the past as being men, we should spend a lot of time thinking about the way that women have built this country. They have addressed struggle. They have sometimes had to fight violently for their rights. But more often than not, women have actually worked together across many different barriers to build the sociability, the peace, the care, the service structures that are the backbone of our society, rather than the great statues to great men that people sometimes think of as heritage. Chat to the oldest living female that you know of, and you'll learn a tremendous amount about what our heritage is.
And something to be proud of. Catherine Burns, very good to talk to you.